They look like wool on the asparagus ferns. Up close, they look like this. Now these plant insects also produce honeydew, but it seems the ants haven't really discovered them as a honeydew source yet. They look pretty cool, but they do produce really quickly, and they needed to be controlled. So my solution was this mealybug assassin. She's a lady whose diet consists of plant insects like the mealybugs. I released her into Pandora, and she instantly flew away. I hoped she would survive and help control the quickly spreading mealybugs. The Grim Reaper was breathing hard. Do you think he could feel he was being watched? He surely could smell the female's pheromones in the air. Perhaps he too was releasing pheromones that was putting our Green Reaper under a charmed spell. Soon I noticed our Green Reaper was also breathing hard. And that was when he noticed. For the first time, our two mantises were locking eyes on each other. He instantly began to sway. I was honestly so scared for him, and I wondered what could possibly be going through his mind right now. This was actually the first time I'd ever seen the praying mantis courtship or mating ritual. One thing's for sure, that Green Reaper's stare was terrifying. He stood still. What on earth would happen next? Who would make the first move? Then something really unexpected happened. Of the Spanish moss. The Green Reaper began to minutely wobble the Spanish moss on which she hung. The Green Reaper watched, seemingly mesmerized by the movement. What was our male going to do in response? I watched as she continued to wobble the moss. The Great Reaper was breathing hard now, and to my utter surprise, he moved. Oh, yes, she literally scared the crap out of him. Then, in an unexpected turn of events, the Great Reaper began to move away from this place, in a direction away from the female. What? I think him moving away was a surprise move to the female as well. He clearly just wanted to get out of it. I guess that perhaps he didn't feel it was the right time to breed with him, and decided to bail. But this rejection moment was clearly affecting our Green Reaper. Judging from her demeanor, she was either feeling heartbroken or mad. Either way, it was then that I realized that this mantis mating process was going to be much more complicated than I thought.
Well, no. Just in a really bad position.
I then caught sight of someone up on the Hallelujah tree stump.
What?
It was our resident sunscape. He's so beautiful. I believe him to be full-grown in, and I often marvel at the new shape of his body, the speckles on the side of his body, and how he just lounges around, knowing full well that he runs the rainforest as the apex predator. By the way, guys, he still needs a name. Let me know your name suggestions for our golden dragon here. I'm also looking for a female to pair with, so we can one day have a nice family of sunskins running around the forest. I spotted him looking at something flying all around him. He wanted to eat it. When I saw it land, I discovered it was Pandora's damselfly. She was so gorgeous. Look at her. Her face was so pretty. It actually looked like an elegant lady. No wonder they call them damselflies. I loved her color. I actually watched her grow up since she was just a little nymph in the waters. Now I was always sad that she was the only damselfly flying around here in the rainforest. But that was until I spotted this. Macy family, you will love this. Into the Blackwater Pond we go. And there it was. I spotted another damselfly hen, or at least it looked like one. Any of you care to verify if we could expect another damselfly on the way? It was quite large, just under an inch long. These nymphs are carnivorous, and I knew that it was enjoying all the new baby fish that were swimming in the waters. Speaking of baby fish, there were so many guppies now, and the adult females were huge, with more fish on the way. I estimated that there were about 30 or more fish in these waters now, but I did catch the adults eating their own babies, so I wasn't too worried about population control. Plus there was the damselfly, also pregnant fish. It was great to see our aquatic ecosystem doing so well, developing. Sadly, I couldn't see any more shrimp. Guess the waters had grown unideal for them, with all the fish dirtying up the environment, as shrimp require pretty pristine nitrogen-deficient waters. The crabs, however, were still thriving and doing well. And so were these. Look, all the dirty pond water was a literal feast for the vines, who had their roots dipped into the pond, eating up the toxic nitrogen and turning it into the most beautiful of leaves. Vines were now sprouting up into the canopy, even against the top mesh. I couldn't wait for the canopy to just be full of these green vine leaves. I looked back at our green reaper, and she was still staring down at the male, standing completely still now. It was then that I noticed how shiny and iridescent the male's wings were. See it? He had the most beautiful metallic sheen to his back. I wondered if this iridescent shine looked attractive to the females, perhaps reflecting wavelengths of light that the female mantises could really see well. I really wanted our male to be her knight in shining armor, but I wasn't going to rush this process, and allow him to do his thing. The female attempted the swing technique in attempts to get his attention, but he had no reaction to her attention-seeking tactics. She then started to shake the Spanish moss harder, which eventually caused the asparagus fern he was on, which touched the moss, to also shake. After several minutes of vigorous shaking, to my surprise, she turned away. What? Yes, she lost interest in me, as the watched her make her way up the Spanish moss. And then, the cutest thing, she looked back to check on her. Still not moving. She continued up again. Then, are you sure you're not coming? He definitely wasn't going to pursue. She continued up again. Then, are you sure you're not coming? He definitely wasn't going to pursue. She proceeded up the moss further. Are you sure? Looking back a third time. Nope, not moving. And hilariously, a fourth time, you sure? Hits. And a fifth time, just in case. Are you sure? The whole time, our Grey Reaper was not willing to budge. It just stood there, breathing hard. She looked at it 1/6 and final time before proceeding on her way in the opposite direction, high up in the canopy. I can't believe this arranged mantis marriage was not really working out as easily as I thought. I figured breeding the mantises would be a lot easier, but I guess not. Poor green mantis. I suspect she was totally willing. Grey Reaper, what gives? Come on, bro. It seemed like an ordinary, beautiful night in Pandora as the nightly mists filled the land. I always felt Pandora had a totally different vibe and spirit at night, and indeed, the team of Pandora nightlife was different from that of the day. The male was surprisingly still in the same spot as he was hours earlier, still unmoving. The Green Reaper had stationed herself far away under a barn, and was fast asleep. At ground level, I spotted one of the house geckos.